This is a really fun show. At heart, it's just about Bat women, magical girls, or Bat girl, magical girls, in an espionage spy thriller who also balance their high school lives with doing spy things at night while kicking people's ass. I didn't expect a lot from this show, but I got more bang for my buck of time. It's simplistic and never breaks your suspension of disbelief until you get to the episode when all the characters formulate a plan that wasn't seen on screen and wasn't known by certain characters while some were not, and then justified a massive plot twist around that entire idea slash circumstance that happened off screen. But let's not talk about that, and let's talk about the overarching narrative, which is pretty easy and simplistic to follow, like water dripping from a window glass. Now, considering on this channel, the only anime reviews I do is on initial story ideas and stories themselves, along with the characters that are introducing that story and how they develop throughout the course of the runtime of the show, we're only going to be focusing on the narrative of the overall story and how it holds up. So, the overarching narrative is about a group of konoichi, which are basically female ninjas called the Tsukikage, which I can remember and pronounce because I saw the anime created by The Wind, which is another so-so anime series. But the overarching goal and the idea of this show is that the Tsukikage act like Batgirl slash Batwoman, and their entire job is to protect their city from every criminal element, from insane madmen that are serial killers to straight up supervillains who want to take over the world using mind control. Even more ludicrous plans which involve political agendas to control worldwide economics through private corporate means. Now, this is the part of the show that you're either going to completely neglect or you're not going to think about it too much. Constantly throughout this show you're going to wonder, where do these characters get their technology? How did they have this mind erasing spray? How do these characters know about all these serial killers and madmen? Why aren't they telling the proper authorities about it? Like I said, just pretend everyone's Batwoman and Batgirl and just say they are vigilantes and take justice in their own hand, and there's like some type of secret high school club or something like that. But most of all, what you should not think about the most is how a bunch of high schoolers got their hands on the Captain America Super Serum, which is basically this leaf they eat, and they have enhanced strength, speed, and endurance, and they basically become female versions of Captain America, and they're super strong and stuff. It allows them to do all their cool ninja flips and stuff like that and go in the max pain slow down time mode. Like I said, don't think about how they got access to it, just know they got access to it. It simply is. So, to make a very long story even shorter, after one fateful day after the Tsukikage beat the tar out of some scumbag vermin lowlife, a character named Momo, who just happenly is a high school student, gets roped into being a ninja based around a series of unfortunate events that weren't scripted by the screenwriter and played out naturally without any flaw whatsoever. Now, Momo, being as cliched and stereotypical as she is, joins the ninja death cult of Konoichi under the guise of an internship that reads like a master and apprentice contract. Thus, the story begins featuring eerie lesbian undertones every now and again, that of course lead nowhere. Also, another fun fact, several other things that lead nowhere is that there's this entire plot line where the ninja squad indoctrinates another ninja to join their team that was originally a bad ninja, and she's barely in the show. But after re-examining what I just said, that character was kind of a homicidal maniac. But the point I'm trying to make here is they abandon plot lines in this show just like every other show. They introduce a character, they make it seem interesting for like 3 episodes, and they completely forget about them in the back burner when they're needed the most. Well, at this point, I've honestly said everything that I could possibly say about this show, but let's talk about the characters because I only can remember 2 of them, which is Momo and Yuki. I think her name's just Momo, but we're gonna call her Momo. Much like I said previously, Momo is the main character considering the story focuses on her and her tutelage and her random shenanigans and antics throughout the entire duration of the runtime of the series, which gives her the most development out of all the characters, which should be naturally the case. Now, due to the very fact that these characters are high schoolers, you can pretty much guess what the entire plot line is going to be revolving around. Getting past your high school insecurities, becoming who you want to be, learning to love yourself, learning to have friendships, trusting yourself, trusting the people around you, surround yourself with loving people, reject evil, and jerk off to your own self-interest. Most of all, don't forget to be overindulgent with what you want, and put your needs before anyone else's. Because it's all about you. I know people like to say it's not all about you, but trust me, it's all about you. That's the real lesson here. Someone had a chance to use and manipulate you for their own political agenda and their own means. Let me tell you something. They're gonna jump at the opportunity and they're gonna throw you away like the garbage you are. So if you get used by another person, that's your fault. I mean, Momo is a very stoic and heroic character She likes protecting any and all people because it must be done. It should be done because she's a real hero. And of course, it's the right thing to do because we can't have any moral gray characters with no moral malice within a show, because she's always got to be stoic and she always got to be happy. And she always finds a way. There's always a choice and there's always a way. Make the right choice. Care about other people. That's what the show's about. So, skipping to Yuki, the only other character I know. In short, she's this silent badass with a sword who happens to also be a Konichi, who has a hard ass with stricter rules than the bondage ball gags that they feature in 50 Shades of Grey. Another defining character trait of this character is that she has a Solid Snake Metal Gear Solid scar on her face. That's pretty much her entire character and everything that I remember. And like I said, that eye patch is that defining character trait that makes her stand out in my entire opinion. Now, when it comes to any other character in the show, it's just basically stereotypical nonsense and archetypical garbage. You got the smart girl that's really smart and she does things because she's smart. And you got the other character that looks like she's like off her ADHD medication and she's just jumping around, she's throwing caution to the wind and stuff. And you got the older, I'm gonna take care of everything, big older sister character. You got all the archetypes in there. Overall, this show's pretty fun. The narrative is also kind of consistent, and the way the show's paced out is, done okay, I guess. And the interactions are pretty solid in between all the cliche interactions that are, it's just a good show, and it's just a great show overall if you're kind of into that stuff. It's very simplistic. You don't gotta think too hard about it. You just gotta say, this is how it is, and I'm not gonna question any of it, but you can if you can get a headache if you want. But I'm just gonna give this show an 8 out of 10 until Princess Principal Season 2 comes out. Then I'll reduce the score to a 6 out of 10 because I can. And Princess Principal is awesome.